majority of my life, I have been alone. The thing is, though, I've only felt lonely a few times in my life. I guess now would be one of those times. But that goes to say being alone and feeling lonely are not mutually exclusive, and you can be one without being the other. I have felt lonely when I'm with people. In fact, that's probably the majority of the time I feel lonely is when I'm with someone, but it feels superficial and the connection isn't really there. That's when I feel the most lonely. And that's when I really crave connection the most. I've also been alone. I haven't hung out with people for months on end, especially a few years ago, without really feeling lonely at all. I've had periods in my life where I've just focused very heavily on myself, and that has been enough to serve me, and loneliness hasn't really crept in. But on top of that, I think there's just a great weight that is put on people's shoulders, and that has been put on my shoulders when you have so much clarity. I think I've just developed a very deep sense of clarity, especially within the last year, where there's certain things I can't do. I refuse to do. I won't let myself fall in that manner. I won't let myself settle, honestly. I have put myself in a position of being alone and now being lonely because I haven't really found anyone where I feel safe to connect with them. I have my best friend, and I am so grateful for her. And I have people at school that I trust and that I do care about. But I haven't really been able to build deep connections in a while. And it's hard. And it's really, really hard. And it's hard to constantly feel disappointed by other people, and honestly disappointed in yourself for just not being able to force it. Honestly, I've met many people in the last year, and I see it maybe going somewhere, or maybe they want it to go somewhere, but I honestly I refuse to settle with something that I know is not right. And it's hard because I see things way clearer than I used to, and I think honestly having this amount of clarity is very much a burden because it puts me at a disadvantage now, and having clarity and being a senior in high school doesn't really go well together. Like, it just doesn't. It's hard because I'm watching other people build connections, and I'm watching other people do these things, and I wonder maybe I should just do these things too. Maybe I should just, surrender myself, and it's whatever. And I sometimes think to do it, but I just have a version of myself that means so deeply to me, and it means so much to me, and I can't let her go. And I refuse to disappoint her, and I refuse to take steps backwards. And it does come with a price because I'm not comfortable, really. I'm not. It's a lot of emotional weight, and it's a lot of just constantly dragging myself up this hill of I need to do this, and I'm going to leave this person, and I'm going to block this person because it's not actually serving me, and I'm going to make a conscious decision not to hang out with this person anymore because I don't see it as a friendship that benefits me, and I'm going to not drink, and I'm going to not smoke, and I'm going to not post every aspect of my life. And all these things I want to do really badly. I want people to know, I want people to see me, I want people to understand me, I want people to connect with me, but I can't do it superficially anymore. And it's really, really exhausting because it feels like every aspect of my life I am monitoring. And I'm holding myself to such a high standard. And it's not to say, like, I don't think we should make mistakes. I think mistakes are great to make, and I do stupid things, and I do make dumb decisions sometimes, and I do prioritize being in the present, but there's just, I hold myself to this standard where I'm just like, I can't let her go. I can't let her go. And that holds me back from this experiencing a lot of the comforts of just day-to-day life, especially in high school. And it's really hard because I have gotten to a point where I feel like I'm seeing people very, very, very clearly, and it's scary. It's really scary, honestly. I see my parents, I see, you know, some of the mistakes they've made, and I just convinced myself I cannot repeat these mistakes. I cannot repeat these mistakes. And it's hard because these people are, you know, 30 years older than me, and I'm already identifying things that I refuse to let myself fall into. And it's like, I'm holding myself to the standard where I'm like, I'm 17, you know, my parents are 48. I'm wondering, should I be giving myself more leeway? Should I be making these stupid decisions? But I can't do it. I can't do it because I have a vision of my life, and I cannot let it go. And I cannot make the same mistakes my parents made, even though it's like comfortable at the time. I cannot do what some of the people I know do, because I know it won't serve me in the long run. And it's hard because every single day I'm wondering, when will this pay off? Because I am tired. I am so fucking tired. Like, exhausted, honestly, of just identifying my problems, everyone else's problems, and then having to integrate it into every aspect of my life because I see it, I have so much clarity, and I don't want to let it go. And having this clarity has, you know, forced me into these spots of loneliness, forced me into these spots of sobriety, forced me into these spots of privacy, because I can't settle for less. And I hope in the future I meet more like-minded people, and I hope that once I finally leave high school, my world expands and there's more opportunities and more conversations to be had. Because right now it very much feels like me just trudging up this hill. And it's a lot of internal work, and there's not a lot of payoff, especially right now. But I think that honestly is just what I have to do. I saw somewhere the path to hell feels like heaven, and the path to heaven feels like hell. And I guess that kind of sums up a lot of it. I am trying to get somewhere so good that the steps I have to take feel so hard and so not easy. But, you know, I'm giving myself leeway, and I'm giving myself the opportunity to make mistakes while also knowing what my boundaries are and knowing what I will and will not accept from others and from myself. And if you're in a spot where you feel burdened and you feel broken and you feel extremely heavy, and you have a clear vision, but you don't really know when it's going to show up or how to cultivate it in the stage in your life you're at, I just want you to know that I see you and I understand, and it might not be easy, and it might take months, and it might take years, who knows, but ultimately clarity is a gift. And although it is a lot of weight. It comes with a lot of wisdom, and it's important. And it's important to know yourself and to hold yourself to a high standard. And I believe that ultimately it will pay off. And I don't know. If it doesn't, I deadass just plan to move into some cabin in the woods and become like a farmer. I don't even know. I might get a goat. Who cares? But that's like third option. That's like fourth, fifth option maybe. But you know what? Honestly, part of having all this clarity is that I also have a very deep understanding of myself, and I'm also have this clarity that, you know what, I have this baseline happiness that is hard to obtain, and no matter what happens, I think I can live with the outcome. And if my entire life is just filled with disappointment, I don't know. I think I can handle it. Hopefully. And if I'm 40 something and single and living in the woods, sure, I won't be completely happy, but I'll have myself, and honestly, that is the most rewarding thing I can say.